Very often, translators work in a project with several terminology references. These can be related translation memories, client glossaries, software glossaries such as the ones from Microsoft or Apple, and so on. The client often requires the translator to be strictly consistent with all terminology references at the same time, but more often than not, there are inconsistencies between one glossary and another, or even within the same glossary or translation memory. Xbench helps you manage these potential conflicts by assigning priorities to each reference or glossary loaded on the application. With each search, Xbench will show you the results classified in the given priorities, and all results coming from the different sources will be displayed at a time, in the same interface, in a quick and clear way. The translator immediately knows what terminology he or she has to follow in case of inconsistencies between one glossary and another. In the Xbench project displayed here, you can see the reference files loaded in the Project Properties window. We have 4 files, but there could be many more. They are displayed in 3 different colors. From this window, we can change the priority or color using the plus and minus sign. We can also sort the files within the same priority. For instance, if we want that the Microsoft glossary results appear before the strings coming from this translation memory, we change the order of these 2 references. We select the Microsoft glossary and we click on the up arrow. As you can see, we have moved the Microsoft glossary up in this blue priority. You can define the colors you want to assign to each priority in Tools, Settings, Colors. If we search for the term backup, you can see how the results are displayed in the 3 different priorities: green, red, and blue. You can always check the name of the source file in the bottom pane or the right column. So, for instance, if we need to find the translation of backup as a software option, we will use the first instance in this case, since the top green priority corresponds to the software glossary for this particular project. This is a very clear way to find the appropriate results from different reference sources. If we spot inconsistencies within the same glossary, Xbench lets us count the number of instances of each specific term, so that we can use the one most frequently used. For instance, we can see that for server, translated as server, there are 145 entries, whereas for server, translated as servidor, there are 285 entries. Note that we have selected the Show All Matches checkbox. Alternatively, if we want to see all instances of a given priority block, you can double-click on any of its results. The background color will change to green. Also, we can zoom to a specific glossary like this. When working with teams of translators, organizing terminology references by means of priorities helps achieve a more consistent work which is less prone to errors, since all the members can easily follow the established rules as far as terminology is concerned. When the client provides us with instructions on how to follow the reference files they have sent to us, we can convey those instructions to Xbench by using priorities. The translator will be able to check all these reference files at a glance, knowing which reference to follow each time. This improves the quality of our work and, after all, our productivity. Also, when working with teams of translators, sometimes you want to explain with a little more detail what is inside each file or priority, or a few remarks about the translation style. Of course, you can do that with a separate email, but in general it will be useful to put this information in the Project Instructions tab. This is the Project Instructions tab. You can enter free text here. For instance, we can explain what the contents of the Xbench project are and when to use each reference. We could also include a short style guide or anything we consider important for the project. When an Xbench project has project instructions, these are the first thing that is shown to the translator whenever he or she opens the Xbench project. You will always improve your efficiency with Xbench.